Okay, some more people are joining. So basically, it's 8 o'clock on my watch, Moscow time, and 7 o'clock CEST time. And I think it would be the right time for us to start the meetup, the mentorship meetup. And let me introduce myself first. We have 15 minutes for a little bit of networking and presentation and introducing each other. And I may want to ask Adriana to switch on to the next slide, if this is possible. If she's okay. Very good. Thank you so much. So let me introduce myself. My name is Valeria, and I'm performing many roles, basically, but today I will be your host of the meeting, the Toastmaster of the mentorship meeting, and I'm also a part of the Odyssey project as well. And it's been my third round already, so I wasn't there in the beginning, but I was in the organizational team in the beginning, so I know all the insides and inside outs of this project, and I know a lot of you as well, since I'm promoting it a little as the public relations manager. And today I will also be, well, sort of a manager of our ship. And I have my sailing singlets specifically prepared for this meeting, and I have my binoculars so we can see people coming to our mentorship, and we can see our super mentor guests, speaker guests, and we will have 3 wonderful, experienced mentors, not only mentors, the founders of the Odyssey Project, some of them, and today we'll be interviewing them, and today we'll be asking them comfortable and not very comfortable questions, and they will be hopefully answering them in a convenient, polite, and valuable manner. So today our meeting agenda is as follows, as you see on this screen. So we have about, how much time left? Slightly more than 10 minutes of more networking and introducing guests. And then we have our mentors presentation, 5 minutes for each mentor, and then the golden nugget of our mentorship meeting, the questions and answer sessions. And thank you each and every one of you who have sent us your questions. And I would like to ask you, as soon as you have any question that arises in your head during this meeting, during the presentation of the speakers, this session, or the question and answer session, please feel free to write this question in the chat. And either myself or our co-host and co-ship manager, Marcin Vasco, will carefully take a look at this chat and see if there's any more questions, and then we'll read them out and our mentors will give answers to them. I would also like to introduce the timer of our mentorship meeting, and that would be Anna Sia. Hi, Anna. Can you introduce yourself, please? How come you're here, and what brought you to this meeting and to the Odyssey ship? And what is your role for today?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Valeria, for pulling me into this great event. I love Odyssey. When I joined this program, and I believe I was one of the joining that since the first round, I opened a new world, I would say, of people and opportunities. These people, they have shown me these opportunities. So I'm enjoying my life even more than before. And today I'm a timer. Should I? Yeah, I'd like to show you that. For the green, we have this one. I believe it's Sila. And then we have this one, Charybdis. These all our heroes. Odyssey, you are in this journey for many rounds, I believe. You must know these guys. And then we have these dogs, Cerberus, for the final round. And round, I mean the south. So let's start. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Wow, thank you for those amazing, totally fabulous backgrounds. It's the first time I see so themed backgrounds. Well, Toastmasters colored backgrounds are also great, but those are so much better, right? Thank you so much, and be careful. And if you want to well, if you want to stay tuned for the timing, please pin our timer. I think you know how to do that, but just in case, there are 3 nice dots near Anna Sia's video, and you just push those dots, you click on them, and you pin the timer's video, and Anna's screen will be visible to you all the time you're talking, just in case you want to be on time. And we do. And I would like to introduce some of the guests. We have some time here, so I would like to hear how you happen to be here at this mentorship Odyssey meeting. What brought you on board? And let me ask Veronica. Hi, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to each other? What brought you to our ship?
Hi, everybody. So I saw some posts about this subject, and I'm curious. I don't know the type, but I like the idea, and I would like to find out more.
Very good. It's the right place. This ship is going to set sail, and you are going to be among lots of experienced mentors. And let's hope that for the next round, you'll be with us on this ship. And I would also like to ask Simon Cipher, sorry if I'm not correct with pronouncing.
The person who bring me to the Odyssey journey is Marcin. He's my mentor in the Toastmaster Club. And for me, the most important things that was finding and meeting the new people. I know how difficult this can be, especially with the time we don't have. And also this arrived in the perfect time of the pandemic, because we are much more at home, so we have more opportunities to meet together. Unfortunately, my first network was not available too much, so but he was too busy. So, but I understand this right now. I have also my time. There is no free time for everybody, so that is my journey right now. I hope I will stay as much as possible with this journey, and I will meet these people all the time, even if the one period of the time will be ended.
Thank you and welcome on board. And let's hope how long your journey will take you from the networking partner to the mentor of the Odyssey project. And now I would like to invite Ioana from Greece, right? As I see correctly, could you introduce yourself too? Hi, Ioana.
Hi everyone. It's so nice to be here. I found out about this meeting about 3 hours ago or 4 hours ago. Panos, my dear friend Toastmaster Panos, posted it, and I always seek such opportunities to meet with other people and also gain knowledge and experience. And I'm really looking forward to whatever it is that you're going to be presenting.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we're happy to see you on our board. And Panos, thank you so much for inviting your friends to our mentorship. And now let's ask Craig Curtis. Hi, Craig. What brought you to the ship?
Hello, Valerie. Oh, wow.
Hi.
I'm not used to everybody calling my name, my first and last name, but thank you. But I almost missed the ship this evening, but thank you for having me. And what brought me on board is the fact that the program is dealing with, you know, mentoring, and a lot of the clubs here in Germany in the area where I am which is in Frankfurt am Main. And also it encompasses, you know, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. We're trying to, you know, come up with ideas for a mentorship program. So I really like this program, and I would like to, you know, basically get it out there within District 95 that I'm in. But thank you again. And I'm going down to cabin 10. Thank you.
Sure, thanks. Let's hope that the Odyssey project will spread all over Toastmasters world, not only Region 10 and the districts that we're representing, but far, far away to Canada, Australia, US, Africa, and everywhere. Let's hope this. So we have a couple more minutes, and I would like to invite Antonia from District 91. Antonia, welcome on board. What brought you to Odyssey Ship?
Thank you very much, Valeria. I am always interested in mentoring. I'm an incoming division director in the UK, so I'm going to need to know a lot about mentoring because people will be asking me. So I'm here to learn. I'm also a friend of Panos. Well, he invites a lot of people, and I saw the event anyway on Facebook, and I know quite a few people who are participants here today on the call. So I'm just curious to learn, as always.
Thank you so much. Panos, kudos to you bringing so many wonderful guests to our meeting, spreading the Odyssey word. You're from Greece. You are from the native land of the Odysseus. That's natural for you, right? Thank you so much. So Virginia, hi, welcome on board.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I believe Antonia was referring to me amongst others when she said that she knows some people on board of this ship. I am actually boarding a lot of online activities of Toastmasters across the world nowadays, like many of you that I have met already in different setups. But this time I'm very, very focused and want to make the most of this session, and this is because I am VP Education of my club, and I have just started doing the Advanced Leadership Bronze program under the old traditional system, which requires that we make educational presentations. And one of the topics that I chose is mentorship. So I would try in the next days, actually my presentation is very soon, I will try to get not just informed, but inspired by what is going to happen here. And again, Panos being the star, he connected very quickly to me this morning, and we have already agreed how to follow up after this workshop. So I'm very much looking forward, and I have taken my notebook with me so that I can really make the most of it. Thank you.
Wonderful, Virginia. Thank you so much. Well, not losing any second. Now, I think it's time to start our speakers' presentations. And let me once again welcome each and every one of you on board of our Odyssey mentorship. And let me please ask our host, Adriana, to switch back to the first slide or just stop sharing the screen, because now is the right time to introduce our three honorable guests. And we will start with mentor number 1. And her name is Adriana Vasilache. She is PhD, and she is the principal researcher in audio coding standardization at Nokia company in Finland. And she has been an active Toastmaster for almost, well, 6 years, since 2014. And she got her DTM back in 2019. Congratulations, 1-year anniversary of your DTM. And she has participated in many speech contests, conducted youth leadership, conducted speechcraft programs. And this year, Adriana is also a part of the core administrative team of District 108. She's a club growth director. And what's more important, she's the big boss of the Odyssey project. In September 2019, almost 9 months ago, a baby was born, the Odyssey project that Adriana started, which is a mentoring and networking platform that helps every Toastmaster from our district and beyond to find mentors, to find mentees and networking partners from all over the globe. Please help me welcome Adriana Vasilahe.
Wow, thank you, Valeria, for this wonderful introduction. I'm impressed to hear about myself. I am actually very happy to be here with all of us on this ship. And yes, like Valeria said, we started the Odyssey project in September in 2019. And my initial idea was just to help people find a mentor if they are shy like me and maybe don't cannot ask somebody, go and tell, please be my mentor. So let's help these people. So this is how the Odyssey started. And here we are. I am very happy how it went so far. And I think it can also, it has a lot of potential. And most of all, I'm happy by the responses I get from the people participating in the project. It's wonderful to see that they are, they learn and they get useful things out of the project and they have a good time.
Adriana, can I ask something? How many countries are already involved in the Odyssey project? Do you have any statistics?
That's
approximately less than 10, more than 20?
Around 10, less than 20, around 10, I would say.
And how many people are on board?
How many people? Participants, 170. I mean, people who have been active in the project since the very beginning, and well, with spouses or not.
Wonderful. And can you please share how you got the idea? Well, you said that that's great. The project was created for people as shy, well, like you, but well, I think that there was some point where it all started. So how did it all start?
Yes, it started. So the idea first, I was thinking about this only for Finland, because well, there are more shy people in Finland and also quite many remote clubs. And I started to think about this in spring 2019. And as I became a club growth director, I saw that there is more potential to have this initiative district-wide. So it started in the District 108. And it also opened in a way the doors to like a larger pool of mentors and also a larger pool of potential mentees and people eager to learn. How it started? Well, it just started. We also got some inspiration from the random coffee process that was going on in Russia, as on how to have these rounds going on. And we linked to the mentoring process. And actually with our technical guy, Florin Lohan, we started thinking on how to build this. And yeah, here we are. I don't know exactly how to answer this question more precisely.
That's a very good answer to a good question, because we're all interested where are the origins of the project. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself. Thank you, Adriana. Now let me see who is there on the deck. And this is Lukasz Hamic. He is our second guest speaker, a very experienced mentor. He's a member of Toastmasters Club na Szczycie. That's a Polish club, and he started his Toastmasters journey since February 2018. And he began his term on board with the role of a secretary. Then he became a club president, and currently Lukasz is representing Area D3. He is a director of Area D3 of District 108. And Privately, he is a happy husband and a father of two sons. He is very passionate about personal development, mountain running, books, holistic approach to the world, and he enjoys watching and participating in the development of others, which is a perfect quality of a great mentor. Lukasz is the participant of the Odyssey Project, oh my God, from the very, very beginning, which actually brings us to 24 weeks and 7 rounds. And during this time, Lukasz had the pleasure to mentor 7 people from 3 different countries, including Poland, Finland, and Kazakhstan. And he has also been a networking partner with 7 people from 5 different countries: Finland, Russia, Spain, Lithuania, and Poland. Please welcome our second mentor, Lukasz Homic. Lukasz, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I became a mentor after a few speeches and weeks in Toastmasters, but only from my club members in my club. But thanks to the Odyssey, I had the opportunity to meet more people who need mentors and can benefit from my experience in several positions in organization. As mentioned Valeria, I have been working in corporation for 17 years, and I have been managing teams for 11 years. And it's my greatest pleasure to participate in the development. I came to the Toastmasters to be a better leader, and I hope I realized it. In mentoring, I use only skills acquired in Toastmasters, but about the skills I acquired in corporation and my experience in working with teams. I am professionally involved in personal communications as a manager. I had the pleasure to meet many people from different countries in both mentoring and mentoring meetings, and share the problems with them and look for a solution. It's also amazing that everyone has similar problems, but only our view on them is different, and this is where I see the greater strength in mentoring. Thank you.
Thank you, Lukasz. So you love mentoring. You were born
Yes.
a mentor, right? Thank you so much. And let's come to our ambassador for Greece and all Region 10, a person who brought so many wonderful friends and guests to our mentorship. Let's welcome Panos Korelis. He got his ticket to the Odyssey mentorship in the beginning of this year only. But his first question to the Odyssey team was, hey guys, do you actually welcome participants who live in faraway countries but do belong to the international community of Toastmasters? And the immediate and positive response from the team was, of course, yes. And it opened up the doors for Panos to connect with the mentees in Estonia and Poland so far. And I think many, many more countries are coming. And thanks to Panos, he contributed to the next steps on their journey from the lessons he has learned: conquer borders, time, distance, together with their mentees and the Odyssey team on board of this mentorship. Panos, the stage is yours.
It was January 2020. I was doing what you all regularly do in an evening, random evening, browsing Facebook. I think it was a Tuesday evening. And then I landed on the mentorship page. Adriana Vasilache, who is this person? No common friends, mentoring internationally. It just made so much sense. So I messaged an unknown person on Facebook. This is something that that I don't typically do. And look where we are today. And it's not just us in the room. It's also the 170 members of this project and growing that this initiative has touched. I want to share with you 3 things that I have learned and that have shaped my perspective from within my Odyssey journey. And it is 3 things that mentoring is not. There were 3 myths in my mind. Number 1, the mentor gives and the mentee gets. So this is a myth. The relationship, in fact, is more dynamic and mutual. For example, one of my mentees in Estonia is a better writer and storyteller than myself. Now, what she offers me, and again, what I benefit, is learning from her the way she structures her thoughts and stories on paper. What she benefits from me is, from my experience, to be building a bridge between this and the stage. Another one of my mentees is a challenging thinker on social aspects, and he lives in Poland. Now, what I benefit from him is to be approaching, or better put, is to be making use of the platform, the speaking platform, to challenge my audience's thinking, rather than being engaging, also getting my audience to reflect. Now, what he benefits from my experience is how to be doing that effectively within 5 to 7 minutes. So overall, the mentee still needs to go through the experience. There is no free ride to knowledge, but there's structured steps and the process. And most importantly, a mentee can learn from the mentor's mistakes. Now that brings us to the second point. Does the mentor need to be an expert, as I thought in the past? What makes an expert? It's more about experience than expertise in certain skills. Let me give you an example. A couple of days ago, I was in the Philippines and I was evaluating a person who was giving her first evaluation, evaluation and feedback project. She gave her evaluation. Her name is Kay, Toastmaster Kay, 3 months a Toastmaster. And my jaw dropped. Her evaluation was exceptionally good, so well structured, so effective and motivating. For a first evaluation, it would be a challenge for me to find things to say. There were things to say, but it was totally blew me away. I asked her, okay, you're doing something right here. What do you do? She said, I've been mentored since day 1. From who? From the division director. I'll let that sink in there for a minute. Now, what can a mentor offer to his or her mentees? As I understand it, from experience, the mentor can offer them a better starting point on their learning curve. So you don't start from scratch and reinvent the wheel. And that is what Toastmaster Kay in the Philippines had that night. She was giving her first evaluation, but thanks to mentoring, she started off from a better starting point. And it showed. And number 3, a myth that I had in my mind. Mentoring is a commitment that is more like filing for adoption. So we all know that coaching is short term. You coach on a specific skill like voice coaching. But what about mentoring? Am I supposed to adopt this fellow Toastmaster and be responsible for their entire Toastmasters career? Well, while mentoring is definitely not a one-off, it's not filing for adoption either. Mentoring can be very specific, and give you an example with most of my mentees. I have 2 now from within the mentorship, but I have 7 in total from India to the US, because I also belong to a number of online clubs and I have mentees there. We meet more or less twice per month, and there is more of a need to meet when a speech date is coming up. So maybe a week before a speech is the right time to meet. And again, it's mentoring when it comes to presentation skills and communication skills, but at the same time, there's a lot of value exchange at the thought level that leads to the success in speaking. And again, I learn as much from them as they learn from me. So all in all, am I a mentor or am I a mentee? I'd like to think of my mentees as also my mentors. I mentor them in one area, they mentor me in another area, and it is this dynamic and mutual nature of a mentor-mentee relationship that I personally find most rewarding and beneficial for me. Back to you, Valeria.
That is so true, Panos. When I was mentoring 3 people at once, I felt like a mother with many children, and actually if every smallest success of my mentees on the stage was like my own pride, and every time I looked at them, I learned something new for myself as well. This is so rewarding. You cannot even imagine. Thank you so much for this brilliant introduction. We are perfect in timing, and let me see who is left on the shore. Oh my God, I can't see the shores anymore. So we set sail, and we're ready for the session of questions and answers. This is the core, the golden nugget of today's meeting, and we have 10 prepared questions. The questions that came not out of the blue, the questions that our sailors sent to us beforehand. And I would like to ask Adriana to share her screen again, so we see those questions written black and white, or white and black. And let's start with the first question. That would be pretty much, I guess, easy, and that would be the next slide. And how would we answer to those questions? The question is tricky a little, yeah, but probably easy. I would like to invite each of our 3 speakers to comment upon the questions they would like to comment, but I would also like to relate certain questions to certain people. And probably that question would go to the Odyssey Project founder. Adriana, what benefits do you personally find as a mentor for yourself as a part of the Odyssey Project?
So as a mentor, the question is as a mentor.
Yes.
First of all, it's an easy way to find mentees, and that's pretty much obvious. And what I particularly like about the Odyssey project is how easy you can find a mentee going through this matching process, in the sense that there is the possibility of trial and error. So you get one pair, you see if you can work together. If yes, you continue. If not, try again. So this is a good, a benefit that I see of the system.
Thank you, Adriana. Lukasz, what benefits do you personally find as the networking partner? So you have 7 networking partners all over the world now. What are the benefits of this part of the project?
For me, it's the most important is that that forced me to the self-development all the time. I need to be better and better and better to be a better mentor or better networking partner. And I beating myself with my struggles, like speaking in English. So it's helping me to be a better person.
Good, pretty fair. Panos, do you want to add something?
All right, so I get to add to the benefits. The benefit, very often when you're involved and committed, the benefit that you bring is the benefit that you get. Valeria, I want to echo back your words about the satisfaction that I get when I know that I have been a bit of a catalyst for the success of my mentees. It can be a single idea, but when one of my mentees gets an aha moment, then I know that they're looking at their speech with a new set of eyes. And I won't claim a patent on the process because it happens when you're involved. I wish I could give myself, first and foremost, a formula, a success formula for the process. But the more involved you are and the more you keep exchanging and the deeper you go, and when you keep at it, you have a breakthrough. And this being a bit of a catalyst for somebody else's breakthrough is one of the most rewarding experiences that I have had the pleasure, and I still have the pleasure of experiencing. Now imagine having the platform to be in the middle of this experience with someone sitting far away in Finland, in Poland, in Estonia, or other places in the world. Only imagine. Back to you, Valeria.
Wonderful. Thank you. Adriana, could you please pass on to the question number 2? We have lots of them. That's a very tricky question. Is there, and when it is, what is the responsibility of the mentor for the progress of his or her mentee? That's a question many mentees usually ask. How would the progress be calculated, and who's responsible if I'm good or bad with my mentor? Who would like to answer this question? Adriana?
I could start. Well, it's a tricky question, and the way I see it, I mean, there are different degrees of responsibility, and clearly the responsibility is shared to both to the mentee and to the mentor. But when it comes to the mentor, I would see the responsibility mainly being translated to the follow-up process and also to the analysis and evaluation of the relationship and of the mentoring process. Otherwise, of course, the mentee is responsible to do the work, to try to apply what he learns. But for the mentor, I'd say it's his, in a way, his responsibility to follow up and analyze how the process is going.
Interesting. Thank you, Adriana. Panos, anything to add? How you feel your responsibility, how you evaluate and manage this? If you have ever been asked about being responsible or not.
You bet I have something to add to that. So let me start by taking the word responsibility completely out of the picture, because responsibility sounds grave. Somebody is going to be held responsible for something. Let's pick a better word, in my opinion: accountability. I feel accountable when it comes to my mentees for the following things: making myself available, okay? But not only making myself available time-wise, but when I am meeting with them, I do nearly 100% phone mentoring, because I do remote mentoring, and I also find that it helps me focus. But let's put that aside for a second. When I'm with my mentees, I'm 100% there, or I do my best to get to the 100% of that day. I hope this makes sense. And then you demonstrate active listening. So active listening is the process where you are involved in what the other person is saying without you saying a word, but you're still involved in what they are saying. And then from that interaction, I find that it brings out the best of the mentee's personality and ideas, because we all balance up when we interact with someone else. I mean, if you're anything like me, when you think alone with yourself, you produce a certain quality of thoughts and inspiration. But when you think together with somebody else, that quality gets a little bit of a tune-up. Then when it comes to the mentees, I would say, first of all, I view the mentee as accountable for getting in touch with the mentor and making sure that they ask for their time or they book in time. Number two, the mentee is accountable to themselves for doing the work. Now, I love networking as much as the next guy, but a mentoring relationship is measured in results, tangible results, for example, a number of speeches given, but it's also measured in confidence result. So over time, when you know that you know how to speak, you grow more confident, and that's more internal. It's hard to put a number to that. So I would say that the mentees are also accountable for seeking out the mentor and also for doing the work. Hope it makes sense.
That does make sense. It's either a win-win or lose-lose situation. I have never seen a win-lose situation of a mentor and mentee pair. And I have a special request from Vijay, who would like to add something to this question. Vijay, could you please unmute yourself? You have 1 minute to comment upon this question.
Yes, thank you, Valerie, for giving me this opportunity. Yes, when I speak about the responsibility, I completely agree to the speaker just now said. But yes, the first thing that as a mentor I need to do is that I need to synchronize my goals with my mentee. So the moment I create my goals, then I choose my mentee, and I need to, I need to ask my mentee, what are your goals that you need to achieve during the period of our mentoring. So the moment I get the goals, I need to make sure that my mentee is achieving the goals that he has provided to me, but not my goals I have provided to him. So it makes the responsibility of the both mentor and mentee asking each other, did you achieve your goals because of me? And I ask a question to him, did you achieve your goals, that what you have promised to achieve to yourself? That is what exactly I believe that responsibility should lie not only with the mentor, it should also lie with the mentee and mentor both.
Correct. That's a mutual responsibility. Thank you so much for commenting. Adriana, could you please move on to the next question, number 3, which would be, I don't know how it is related specifically to mentor-mentee situation, but how do you encourage innovative ideas from your mentees or mentors, whatever is more convenient for you to answer? Lucas, any ideas? How do you encourage your mentees to act innovatively?
Okay, I have one question for mentee with such innovative idea. What will be happen when you don't do this? What do you lose? And what do you achieve when you do? So,
what if he doesn't know the answer?
This is a hard question and tricky. So when he don't know answer, we search what tools do he or she need to get the result.
Okay, Adriana or Panos or Lucas, do you have any specific example of an innovative idea that was put into action in your experience? Something that was offered and then, so Panos, you say yes, right?
I can give you a specific example. First of all, let me do my usual thing and take out the word innovative because it's a business term and I interpret it on my own terms as a creative idea, perhaps a challenging idea. So with one of my mentees, as I said, I have one mentee who is a challenging thinker, first and foremost himself, and he gives a series of speeches about our self-image, the way we view ourselves, and the way this extends into the way we view others in society as a whole. Now, you can imagine that the value of the thought process behind this speech is apparent, but it can be a little bit, it can create a little bit of a barrier with the audience if he takes the stage and presents the speech by talking down to the audience. So what we did, because there's a clear danger there, because you know, if I take the stage and share with you that perhaps the way you look at others is not respectful, I have your attention, but perhaps I do not have your sympathy. So we worked extensively on this speech project to make sure that no matter what he shares, still his audience will have the benefit of a choice, because we might choose to agree or disagree with the speaker, but it's part of the speaker's responsibility there, I use that word, to his audience to tread lightly and to present in a way that gets the audience to reflect, but perhaps not to react and put up a barrier. So this way we kept the creative spirit in his speech, but at the same time we increased the possibility for the speech to be well received from the audience.
Cool, thanks. Let's go to the next question because we have 7 more. And that would be what? Oh, very good question. I love it. That's for the organizers and for the mentors, how they feel about the pairs that they receive. What are the challenges in the matchmaking between a mentor and a mentee? Who would like to answer? What are the challenges that they face? Adriana?
I could start, and well, since you said that it is maybe mainly to the organizer, I would look at this question from the practical and solution point of view on having a good match. And for this, we need to remember that both the mentor and the mentee are human beings, as non-linear as possible and as any biological creature on this earth. So it's hard to have a perfect match, having in mind that we say that the match is made based on skills, based on common language. It will also be in the future, we'll take more into account the levels of the mentor and the mentee. So these are things that we know and that are easy to quantize or to classify. However, there are also some other requirements as personality. We have some, well, we tested with the astrological sign when we are doing the matching. There is also the possibility to have some psychological test results and use that in the matching, but there's still, it's still not there, and it also has a couple of question marks. There's also time availability. Some people want to work in the morning, some or others in the evening, others like 3 times a week, others once a month. So in this way, it is hard to make sure that the match is perfect from the beginning. However, the fact that we have an algorithm and there's no one human trying to connect all the people in the system, it's something that helps us. So challenges in the matchmaking.
Did you have any complaints? Like people wrote to you asking, saying, what have you done? This is not a good pair for me. Give me another one. None?
I cannot say none, so that's not true. I would say that overall people are happy, and I did not expect like to make happy everybody, because something is wrong if everybody's happy. So you have no reference. Actually, some of the examples that I gave in the beginning are like from real comments to the system. So this is why you are continuously want to receive feedback to the system, because you want to understand how the people are using and what they want and how they want to use. And we are aware that we are not yet perfect. Maybe we'll never be perfect, but we are trying to get better every time.
Thank you. So the two main things is first feedback from the pairs on which we can do the better matchmaking, and second, levels of skills, you know, so people know what they're looking for. I'm not sure we have too much time for other speakers to add to it. Let's hope that you are all happy with your pairs. And let's go to question number 5. Let's see what's in there. Oh, that's the story question. What is your first experience with a mentee? Tell us a story. And how often do you, well, actually, we heard some answers to that already, but with your best, you know, the best marriage mentee, how often did you meet with him or her? And tell us about your first experience. Lukasz, can I ask you to share a story, a short one?
Okay. Yes, my first experience was good. That was a person from another country, from Finland. And for a few weeks, there was everything very good with our meetings. We meet once for 2 weeks, and everything was good till she don't go out from Toastmasters. So that was very good till now.
Thank you for sharing. Panos, can you share your story and tell us specifically what were the skills you were training together with your first mentee in Odyssey Project?
Otherwise, I would have to go way back. Well, my first experience in the Odyssey project was a phone call with my mentee in Estonia. And the funny thing is that we connected on the phone call, but also she had no recollection of how she registered for Odyssey, because she's the only one, still the only one from her club in Estonia that is registered in Odyssey. So she shared that thing with me, and I could hear the stress in her voice, because she was talking to a stranger. I mean, perhaps it could also be a good thing that, you know, she couldn't see me, because, you know, like, who's this guy? But then again, we broke the ice. So I shared a few things from myself, and she shared a few things from herself. And this is one thing I learned. Mentoring is about connecting. It's not therapy. You know the therapy thing, you know, this is about you, this is not about me, you know, you do the talking. No, this is not mentoring. Mentoring is not coaching, like, you know, when you ask like rapid fire questions so that you get them to think. No, mentoring has to make sense. It made a lot of sense to me to be talking to her, but we went through the process. You can call it the coffee process, like sitting for a coffee. So in the first meeting, I learned how to sit for a coffee with someone that I had never met on the phone, and discover all those things about her that would enable me to discover the things about her on her Toastmasters journey that she wasn't ready to share yet. And as I understand, and as I later understood, because we're still together as a mentor, we're still matched as a mentor and mentee pair throughout this entire time. As I understood, she learned to relax into it and go from a structured style. So she came with a list, you know, and I could hear that she was reading a list to make sure she doesn't make a mistake. And now I think that when we connect on the phone, because I only do phone, you know, no camera, phone, then when we connect on the phone, I think she's comfortable enough to come reasonably unprepared. And for her, that was a learning step, if you know what I mean. for her to come reasonably unprepared and more creative. For her, it was a learning step. So look at it. Both of us slightly more adjusted to one another throughout the process. If this is not progress, then I don't know what is.
That definitely is, and it also sounded like a great love story. So let's see how long you will be matched in the project.
That's what I tried to rephrase. Thank you, Valeria, for pointing out. That's what I was trying to rephrase there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's a wonderful story. Question number 6, Adriana, could you please switch onto the next slide? And now vice versa. Tell us about your mentors, and that would be a question to Adriana. What did you learn from them? Let's talk about some strong mentor, maybe the first mentor you had, like what he or she has taught you.
Well, in Odyssey, I had only one mentor, and she has taught me actually PR strategy for the Odyssey project. And before that, I had mostly mentors that were local, I mean, from Finland. And in that sense, I could see a difference that I could also observe them more on what they are doing and learn also by observing, not only from the interaction that we had during the meetings. What did I learn? Yes, PR strategy, and actually gradually how to be a leader.
Gradually, you already are a leader. Thank you for sharing. Now let's go to the next question. I guess I know what to expect. Question number 7, very interesting. Online or face-to-face? Two different sides of one coin. What works for you and what is the difference? Who would like to answer? Lucas?
Yes. Yes, for me it's online. It's now we can meet with everybody from whole world. So online it's a great possibility, and we see each other. We can talk with each other. It's a very, very great opportunity to work with each other. Online, it's for me is the best from the Odyssey project.
Now it's definitely the best way to communicate during those COVID times. Panos, you said you talk on the phone and not using any cameras. Why not?
First of all, I'm not camera shy, as you can all tell, but I want to make sure that we focus on what is important, and that is communication. So while we are in front of the camera, and especially if we are a bit less familiar, even now, there are some that are a bit less familiar than us online Toastmasters travelers, Zoom travelers. So when we talk on the phone, I find that the other person can relax as to his or her appearances. They can be wearing their pajamas. I don't need to know. They can be at home. They can be running around. The important thing is that we focus on the communication between us. Plus, when we isolate our senses to one channel, and that is the phone channel, then we get more from the interaction because we use only one sense. Believe me, it works. And together with that, there's something a bit more intimate when you talk to someone on the phone. Because when you want to talk to a friend, what do? Do you go on Zoom and say, hey, Valeria, let's Zoom in together? Or do you say, well, let's talk on the phone? And somehow that finds its way into the building of a new mentor-mentee relationship. And I have had so good results with this that now it's part of my process. I only do phone mentoring. How do I get the rest of the stuff, body language and so on? Videos, and especially with remote mentoring. Send me your video, you're gonna get an evaluation on the entire thing. But then again, the communication takes place over the phone. Back to you, Valeria.
Wonderful. Phone mentoring. I love this term. This should be written down somewhere. And I also love email mentoring. When I usually mentor people on the speech structure, and when you see the script and you comment on it, it's just perfect. It's better than on the phone. Thank you so much. Question number 8. Adriana, please switch on to the next slide. Okay, that's an interesting one. Why am I assigned mentors who are less experienced than myself and don't have much to share with me? Who would like to answer that one? Adriana?
Because the level setting is not yet implemented.
That's a good
But
answer.
it will be, it will be hopefully
Brief.
to the next round.
I love it. It's brief, it's brilliant, and let's see if it's gonna work in round 8, right? Or round
9.
9. 9 already. Thank you so much. And question number 9 then. Well, what is the meaning of Odysseus? And Odysseus now means the name of the person here, right? Or the name of the project. Which I actually didn't get really too much about this question, but what is the meaning of Odysseus? Yeah, why? Why are we traveling through the seas? Panos.
I know this question is targeting me because I'm supposed to know. After all, I studied this at school. Well, Odysseus was a person that went through a journey, okay? What is a journey? A journey is a story. What does a story have? A story arc. So everything started at a war, which was the regular course of affairs every day of the week, a few thousand years back. But then he won the war, but had to find his way home. And he went through a lot, and you want to read the story, it can give you a lot of material for drawing analogies in your own stories. So the moment of conflict was wandering around until Odysseus could find his way home, which is the island of Ithaca. And then something changed. He developed humility. So he returned home as a nobody, not as a king, because he used to be a king. He returned home as a nobody. And then he reclaimed his throne. Well, he had to kill a few of his wife's suitors and so on, but this is the minor detail. This was happening regularly back then. But the important part is that he went through a personal transformation from a king and a warlord to a nobody to becoming a king again. And I find that every time a mentor on board the Odyssey ship intends to win over his mentee, again, this is part of the mentor's accountability. You're more experienced. Can you win your mentee over, or are you going to judge your mentee as not something enough? Okay? Win them over. It's a challenge to myself first and foremost. But the way to win over your mentee is to share openly. Share, I've been where you are. I've learned how to be humble about my skills, so I can feel with you, not feel for you. I can feel with you, and I can give you the next step from my experience. Is this a perfect step? Perhaps not, but it is the next step from my experience, and I'm happy to share this with you. So again, we are all on a mini Odyssey, and the importance is to win over our mentees. Back to you, Valeria.
That's a true Greek person speaking. And there's one more important thing about the whole Odyssey story is that it lasted 10 years. That's at least the shortest timeline for the project to stay live, at least for 10 years. And we're slowly coming to the final question that was pre-sent to us. And yes, question number 10. And I would like to encourage all the participants to send their questions, if they have any, to our chat, Zoom chat, so we can pronounce them clearly and loudly, and our mentors would give answers to them. But now we're coming back to the shore, and question number 10 would be, can a mentee have more than one mentor at the same time, or can a mentor have more than one mentees? And why is this appropriate? Who would like to comment upon this question? What are the benefits or what are the challenges of one mentor having many mentees and vice versa? And I would like to ask Marcin to unlock the chat, because If it's locked, then it's not good. So, anyone raised their hands while I was reading the chat? Adriana?
Yes, shortly, since the, well, specifically to the Odyssey project process, since it is sought on rounds, sequential rounds, one mentee should have one mentor because it's good to focus. In the same, yeah, while for the mentor, he can have more mentees at the same time, given his or her time availability, and he is in a way sharing knowledge in a way, so maybe the process is less time consuming. So if there is place, then why not?
Good. Panos, anything to add? You had 7 mentees at once, right? You said?
I currently have 7 mentees, 2
Oh my
from
goodness.
Odyssey and 5 internationally. Yes.
You're a monster.
I will give my understanding to this question. When you're being mentored, that does not remove your ability to exercise critical thinking. And what your mentor shares with you is from their experience. When it comes to communication skills, there is no recipe. If there was a recipe, we would all be following it and we would not be discovering it in our own way, at our own pace, and with our own words. So a person can choose to have 2 mentors and can also draw distinctions. For example, one can be have more experience in voice, in body language. The other can be a better storyteller. So you can work on different skills and bring them all together with your exercising your own critical thinking. And at the same time, a mentor can focus on mentoring based on a specific skill set. One thing I appreciated from the very day, from hello on the Odyssey project, is that there were a lot of boxes, maybe over 10, that I could click and say, I'm interested in mentoring others based on those skills. You know, there are some things, I keep bringing up voice training. And perhaps you wonder, why do I bring this up? It is what I need the most. So I'm bringing it up because I need it the most, and I always have it on the top of my mind. So again, if there is a box and you feel that you want to focus on building the skill within others, click it. And it's okay if your mentees also have another mentor, because sometimes those 2 mentors could be saying the same thing in different words, and one set of words will resonate enough to get the mentee moving in the right direction. You see where I'm going with this? So again, the mentees can always disagree. They can always exercise their own critical thinking because they're on their own journey and they're at their own pace to find their own words. Back to you, Valeria.
Totally agree. And there is one more question that is related somehow to this one as well in the chat. What must be the timeline of the mentor-mentee relationship in Odyssey? What is the best, I don't know, the best period where a mentor and mentee can work perfectly well together and then they should part and find other pairs? Or will it be a lifelong relationship? What is the best timeline? How do you think?
It depends. At least in my opinion, as I said, there are many aspects to take into account. I mean, what people want, and some want to work on particular topics for a short period of time. Others have a longer time goal, and then it would take more time. So in the longer term or longer term, I would say a minimum of 6 months. It's something that I see as beneficial, but these are no rules. These are just my perspective or approach. And well, it can go to up to 1 year. It might also restart later on because you already have the contact and you can always get back and ask. So I don't think there is one optimal.
I don't think either. Based on my personal experience with mentees, I would say that from 3 to 6 or 7 projects, including both speeches and leadership project, is quite enough for a mentee to develop and a mentor as well. And how can we sign up? That's a very good question. But first, here's one more question from Irina. I would say in organizational sort of a question. If an assigned mentor doesn't respond to her first email for arranging a meeting, how long does she have to wait for the contact? Well, if she as a mentee wants to get in touch and he doesn't respond, what happens next? How do they arrange a meeting?
Okay, I was writing in the chat, so I missed somehow the question. So if the mentee or if the mentor does not respond?
Yes, if the mentee wants to get in touch and he has no...
just contact us. And at that point, whether by email or message in the Facebook group, so there is this odysseyfotostovis.com email address. And we have other channels of communication with the mentor, and we'll try those. If they just do not work, well, we'll see what can be done. But
just
well,
signalize that there is a problem, so it can be solved.
It's most important. Yes, signal.
Now, do we have more questions in the chat? Probably not. So we're a bit running off the allotted time. Since, however, if you don't have any questions so far, I have one more last thing to ask you, but if you do, please keep writing in the chat, and please do register. If you're not yet an Odyssey traveler, if you're not yet on the real board of the real mentor-menteeship, please go to TM Odyssey today and register. The link is in the chat. Thanks, Florine. And go register, find all those numerous ticks that you just tick and choose the mentee capabilities or mentor capabilities. How can you be of help to all the rest of Toastmasters world, and step on board. And the last thing I would like you to do now, as a part of the sort of a networking thing, would be the last slide. Adriana, could you please switch on to it? There's a wonderful resource, pretty familiar to many of us who are participating in numerous online conferences worldwide in Toastmasters, www.mentee.com. So there is a cloud of words, and I would really ask each and every one of you to go to this mentee.com and use this very code 502426, because there is a question, open-ended question waiting for you. So what is mentoring for you? And could you please share your thoughts, your ideas, your values? What is mentoring for you? Just 1 or 2 words. There are several options. So just once again, use this website on top of this page and this code. And I will try to share my screen to share with you the wordings that you share. I hope the code is seen and everyone. Okay, we have one more question, but let me just say it a little later. Let me share my screen with you. Oh, nice. Human evolution, bragging opportunity, collaboration, chance, guidance, inspiration, goal setter. Nice. Keep on writing, because this is a wonderful word cloud, and we'll save it and we'll post it in our Odyssey Facebook group. So please, if you're not yet a part of our Facebook closed group, and it's closed, so you have to apply to get in, to get on board, go there, join the group because we post there the news, the events, we share there our emotions, our experiences, what we think about Odyssey Project, what we like about it. What we signal if there's anything wrong as well. So please go there, step on the board of this ship, because this ship will bring you to the wonderful future, wonderful mentoring and mentee relationship. And while you're adding more words, I would like to close the meeting, and for the closing remarks, I would also like to ask our wonderful, brilliant 3 speakers to say something to sum it all up and adjourn the meeting. And I would like to ask Panos first. Would you please say something?
With pleasure. Thank you, Valeria. Have you heard the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts? This pretty much sums up my experience as a mentor and a mentee, because I have also been mentored, and I'm currently being mentored discreetly. So back to the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. When 2 personalities interact, when 2 knowledge bases interact, when 2 creative beings, human beings interact, good things happen. It is through the interaction, like 2 chemical substances, that a new substance becomes, but it is unique because both of them are transformed. So as a mentor, expect positive, meaningful changes in yourself. And as a mentee, expect impactful changes that bring you closer to clarity, because somebody else has been in these footsteps before. And that is pretty much my understanding and why I pursue this activity on many levels. Others that are doing it decades more than me, and others that have done it a few days only. Because when we interact, we react in a meaningful way, and both of us are transformed, because the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Back to you, Valeria, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Panos, for such a wonderful story that will close this meeting. And I would also like to ask Adriana to say a couple of words, and also to answer one tiny last question from Virginia. She's asking, what makes Odyssey different from Facebook platforms or other district and division groups? Why is it so important to become a part, register?
Thank you, Virginia, for this question. In one idea, I would say that the Odyssey is special because it allows matching of the mentor and mentee based on the skills. It's automatic matching. You don't have to do more than just registering and select the skills that you want to learn. After that, you get your mentor, you go, I mean, the process continues without you having to do anything else, just to be active as a mentor or mentee, but without any other practicalities. So all that it's taken, taken care by the system. I hope I have answered. And if you have more questions, I'm always ready to answer them by email or messenger or anything else. And maybe one more addition to the invitation to register, since I see here, and I'm very happy to see many people who are interested in mentoring and happy about the Odyssey project. We also have this European ambassador initiative that where ambassadors are spreading the word about the Odyssey project to different clubs in Europe. If you are interested to do so, please contact me or even Panos, because he's already an European, a very good and active European ambassador. So thank you all for your participation here. Thank you, Valeria, for facilitating this. It has really been a pleasure to listen to everybody and to also see the questions that you have asked and to see your interest in the project.
Thank you so much. Once again, thank you for being here tonight with us. And we all hope that we will see you very soon, meaning the 9th round of the Odyssey project and the ship that is ready to set sail very soon. So please do register, do become our mentors, do become grateful, wonderful mentees, or just networking partners. Thank you once again so much, and feel free to contact us via Facebook or email or register or just messenger, just send us a message, and we're here to serve you. We're here to serve on this Odyssey ship. Thank you so much. Goodbye.